For those who were not here last week, we had a very long podcast recording session, so this is part two. This is the remainder of what we recorded in one session, but it was just so long that we made it 2 episodes. Enjoy. Well, fine. We will move to the final topic of our day.
Oh, I guess dude is out.
A cinematic event of a movie. Shadow in the Cloud.
Super cinematic, dude. That's the best movie of all time.
Okay, so here's my presumption of what this movie was supposed to be. This movie was supposed to be a period tale of a World War II, kind of like an untold tale of a capable, strong woman during World War II. What the fuck is happening? This bitch just ran off. It was supposed to be, I think, like when someone walked in the fucking boardroom and they were like, here's the idea. They were like, I want to tell this, period tale, World War II, strong, capable female pilot. Like, I want to tell the story about her. It was kind of like an unsung heroes of World War II kind of movie. And the studio exec was like, okay. What about Gremlins? And the writer's like, what about them? It's like, can we include Gremlins? And they're like, I'm not really sure how, but okay. Not really sure. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure I could do something. I mean, I'm sure I could work something in. That was kind of like a big, old wives' tale. Maybe we'll do something in the shadows. No. I really want to see a gremlin on screen. And like, he should be a giant bat. And then it just went downhill from there because it just seems. We've talked about. I've shown you these before, and we've talked about this already for hours. But like the guy that does the fucking cocaine fueled movie pitches, this is exactly how that movie was made. Mad lib, throw out words, and then they just slapped a fucking movie together.
Here's what I think. There's one of two things that go into this, like the creator of the movie originally. And here's how I'm thinking: if the creator movie could have went two ways with this. One, he wanted a strong female movie to show off how strong females are, and he's like, it's going to be set in this era, and here's kind of what she's going to go through. Or he wanted a strong female movie, but then the studio said, well, we also want this and this and this.
Yeah.
So those are the two ways I'm seeing it. But the one thing I 100% know for a fact that I don't even have to talk to the creator of this movie, is they wanted a strong female character that was so strong that men were below females. Like that was the message they wanted forever.
Honestly, I don't think that was the intention. I think that's just bad storytelling. I think this was somebody like, who wrote this fucking movie?
Screenplay by Liang and Max Landis. I don't know who Liang is.
Max Landis. We've talked about this before. Max Landis is a fucking weirdo.
Oh, Roseanne Liang is the director, and she, I guess, helped do the screenplay with Max Landis.
I feel like Max Landis was just like, can we just keep shoving more crap into it? Because to me, this movie could have been good if this movie had stayed with the plot that we got in the first 7 minutes, where she's on a secret mission from like the top guy at the base. She's carrying some sort of secret information or device or whatever the fuck, and she's under strict orders. She's just got to get to point B undetected without being on a flight manifest at the last minute.
Here's the thing.
If they had stuck with that story and then did the dog fighting shit, and they did even the gremlin shit, I'd have been like, okay.
Here's the thing.
But then that story falls apart.
Here's the thing. Looking at what he's written, as a writer.
Mhm.
He's done Bright, which I think is a good movie. I think the only problem with Bright um, um, is Will Smith's character. I think Will
The
Smith's
irony of
uh,
this, right? This
uh,
movie is meant to present a strong female figure. Max Landis has several misogyny accusations and sexual assault accusations.
so maybe that's why he did it.
Try
So
to make up for it.
trying to make up for it. So like American Ultra was actually, I thought, a really good written movie. Like it's a fun, good written movie.
Right.
So like looking at some of the stuff he's done, I don't know of him.
Victor
Of any
Frankenstein was okay. I thought that was a good movie.
Yeah, I enjoyed that movie. I thought it was fun. So I don't know. Looking at the things he's written that I've actually watched,
That's
I wouldn't necessarily say he's just throwing shit to stuff. Here's
Oh,
the
he
thing.
wrote Chronicle.
Here's the thing. He went into this, or not him. Whoever created this movie, whoever child this movie is, uh, they said, I want a strong female character. I want to show that women are super strong, super duper strong, so strong the men can't even come close to how strong they are. And I was like, all right, cool. And I was down with it. Listen, man, I was down with it. I was like, all right, cool. She's going, okay. So, she's on a plane with a bunch of men. She's on a secret mission. I'm already down with this. I can't wait for this woman to be a badass.
Right.
But then she turned into Dominic Toretto. And I was like, oh, so why didn't we just call this like the other Fast and the Furious in the World War II era?
Call it
World War II Fast and Furious. World War II Furious. Like, bro, it got so. Listen, I even told you, I was like,
Air
I'm
Fast,
okay.
Air Furious.
Yeah, Air Fast, Air. Listen, I told you, I was like, listen, I'm fine with the fact that they showed off that the one female is better than the 6 men that are in this movie, or however men there were. I think it was 6 or something like that. This one woman is not only better mentally, she's better than them physically, like in action, in fighting, in combat, in how to read a situation, everything. Like composure, she's just better. Cool. I'm okay with that. I'll take it. Fuck it. I'll take it. 6 men are fucking morons. Cool. Let's go.
6 men who are morons.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
We all know 6 men who are morons. So this is not a hard sell.
No, not a hard sell at all. But for this plane to have been across this world multiple times, at some point they weren't that complete morons. But okay, complete morons.
I also think I will say to touch on that point for a second. I will say that we are seeing this movie from her perspective.
We are seeing it from her perspective.
So them being completely fucking moronic is how she sees them.
No, it's from,
because like they kept the plane in the air and they were able to like shoot some shit. Like it wasn't.
No, they that's the thing. They weren't. She did everything.
No, they shot down one plane.
They didn't.
They shot down one. They shot down one.
No, she
shot down the other 2. They shot down one. She shot down the scout at the beginning.
Regardless,
and then she shot down.
I don't remember. I remember them doing anything.
Anyway,
so regardless, these 6 men who have said that they've flown back and forth across the world multiple times, this one time they can't get anything right. Cool, I'm down with it. Whatever, let's go. Right. That's already a plot problem, but you know what? We're gonna go.
Sure, whatever.
Go with it. Whatever. All right. She sees a gremlin. Okay, cool. We got gremlins. I'm in. I'm in. Mutated bats.
I'm not.
Mutated bats. Let's go with it, dude. I'm down. Give me this story. She stops from falling out of the gun cockpit that sits below the plane by putting her finger in. All right. You got me. We're doing it. She's stopping her falling, her whole weight with her one finger, and the amount of pain she feels is about as much as like twisting an ankle. All right, cool. All right, we're still going. Now she's hanging upside down on a plane.
She's defeated. No. In the first 20 minutes of the movie, we have acknowledged that it is freezing fucking cold up in the air to the degree that she is trying to like shove pieces of like her clothing into a tiny hole into the fucking turret because it's cold. There's a tiny hole.
But the sun did come up when she was, so it's
no,
warm
because
now.
when the goblin busted open that window, it was dark still.
When she was upside down, it was light.
That's later. I'm talking about when it stabs her in the back and it busts open the window. We have now she has defeated cold.
Yeah,
she's beat cold in the first 20 minutes.
Adrenaline can do crazy shit.
And then all right, but her baby is hanging off the plane, and then she defeats gravity. She just upside down free climbs on an airplane wing while it's flying.
Going minimum of 150 miles per hour. So, and the wind at 150 miles per hour
does not shake the baby off the plane.
Is assumingly going.
Oh, that's the other thing. This is what I said when we were talking in the parking lot. She's supposed to be this badass. She's supposed to be the smartest in the whole fucking movie. Except you can't sell me that when this dumb bitch brought a baby into a combat zone on an airplane.
On an airplane, yeah. But regardless, she is a genius and a badass. So she is upside down, holds onto this plane, catches her baby, and goes back to the inside of the plane. Crawls, by the way, turns around, climbs all the way back to go inside the plane. Cool, whatever. She just defied strength of levels that I've never seen before. But you know what? It makes sense. It makes sense. She's a badass, strong female. All right, cool.
She's a mom. Mom adrenaline.
Now she's inside the cockpit. Few of them are dead now. There's a few more still alive. Now they're getting attacked. I think still by one more ship and by the gremlin or the mutated bat. I don't know why we keep calling it gremlin. They call it gremlin, but it's mutated bat. She defeats the plane. I forgot how.
It's the man bat. That's what it is. It's the man bat.
The man bat. Yeah, it's the man.
From
It's
the man bat.
Yeah, it's the man bat from Batman. I forgot how she defeats. They take care of the.
She shoots it. She shoots the last one.
Yeah, she shoots the last. Yeah, that's right.
But the second one, but not
until a few of them die in the plane, getting shot by the bullets of that plane.
Yeah.
Okay.
She then falls out.
Now, hold on. Oh no, she falls out before she actually takes out that plane.
That's true.
She falls out. Yeah, because the plane hits them with some kind of head that makes her lose balance. She falls out of a plane,
which is moving. We need to remind. I want to remind everyone that a plane is always moving.
Minimum of 150 miles per hour.
And if you've ever thrown something out of a window of a moving car, you know that thing is gone. Whatever leaves your hand, it's gone.
She falls, staying perpendicular through the holes that she fell through this entire time.
Inertia, defying most things in physics.
Most physics / science, she's defied it all. She's at this point.
She is flying.
It does not exist to her.
And then she's in a magic bubble.
I think a bomb.
Something exploded. I forget what it was.
Something explodes, propels her back into that same hole.
But then she does move backwards.
And then she moves back. And then inside the plane, she moves backwards enough to land on a sturdy piece of flooring. All right, you got me. You got me. I get it. I as soon as I saw that, I was like, I get it. This is the female Vin Diesel, Dominic Toretto combination. I get it. I'm cool with it. Dude. I'm cool with it. I'm cool. Hold on. I'm cool with it.
I'm not.
Now this plane crashes. She still survives. She's
the only survivors of this plane crash, mind you,
is her and
her. The guy whose baby it is, the one guy who was nice to her,
the one guy,
and the one minority,
and the one minority. They're survived, but the gremlin did too.
Somehow, She had kicked this gremlin off the airplane. Again, I really want to stress that airplanes are always moving and always at very high rates of speed.
Always.
She had kicked this motherfucker out 10 minutes earlier.
She
and it's just there.
It's just there. It's 10 minutes earlier, but it's there. And she cut its wing. She destroyed its wing, so it couldn't fly.
Yeah. And then
it couldn't fly.
And then so this thing shows up behind her. So and she's like, oh hell no.
Oh hell no. So she hands off the baby. She hands it off.
She says,
like a
hold my baby.
Hold my beer. And she goes and walks up to this man back. She fucking just get your ass, grabs it. Boom, I got you. And beats the living shit out of it with her bare hand.
She freehand battles a man bat. And beats him and kills it. Bare hands. Kills it. Right?
She doesn't. She woman handles this bitch.
She woman handles this motherfucker.
She woman handles
it. Okay.
Listen.
And at that point, we're there, right? We're there. We're like, this is ridiculous. This is crazy, insane. But we're there.
You and I, like, we didn't even watch it together, right? We didn't. I watched it, then I told you I need you to watch this because I think I'm crazy, right? And I said, listen, I get it. I'm there. This is where the movie ends, and we know from this entire time that this woman is the most badass woman that's ever going to exist.
This is a terrible movie.
Ever.
She's a ridiculously badass bitch.
Badass. But no, we don't stop there in telling you how bad.
No, it is 1945.
It's 1945.
And what is the singular thing that a woman would absolutely, under no circumstance, in no universe, if it even remotely resembles our 1945, what would a woman do in front of three men, two of which are strangers?
Can I say something?
Mm-hmm.
It's been maybe maximum. It's been 5 years since we started making it feel okay. It's been maybe maximum of 3 years since it's been like people are not taken back when that shit happens.
Yeah.
Nowadays.
Yeah. And people still are.
Yeah. And even till this day, I mean, even now, some people are still like, what the fuck? But it's taken this long to be like, yeah, it's a normal thing. No, this woman. This badass
climbs on top of a hill
that just woman handled a man bat, goes over there, takes her baby back. She stares that man in the eye and she's like, give me my baby. Walks up the hill, sits the fuck down. And it's like,
titty.
Listen, it's like, I would say this is about the equivalent of a dude or not even a dude, a woman or dude, anybody really just popping out a fucking beer and just, that's been a long day. No,
right.
Baby, titty. Yeah. We're gonna cut it there. We're gonna zoom into her, or it was a zoom away or zoom into, zoom away, zoom into. I can't remember. It was one of those, and that's the end. We got to throw in the breastfeed. If you didn't know that she was a badass already, now you know. Now you know. Now you know. You didn't know before. You didn't know the fact that she defied gravity, that she defied science and physics. She defeated a man bat with her bare hands. Bare hands. You didn't know until that last moment what kind of woman she was.
Yeah, an unrealistic one.
Ladies and gentlemen, listen, here's what here.
I don't think I am.
Listen.
I am very confident, Hottest. I am uncomfortable. I'm gonna take a Gary Vee line. I am uncomfortably confident with saying that in 1945, not a single American woman would have breastfed a child in public.
But listen, this woman was in a plane, fought a man bat. She had no fucks. She's a different breed. She had no fucks to give at this point.
As they say on TikTok, she's built different.
She's built different. But if the only thing you got out of this is that we don't like women or some shit. You're the fucking idiot.
Yeah.
But let me put it this way.
You know what I do want though after
There's a way to tell stories.
Mhm.
There's a way
Mhm.
to tell good, strong female role stories. There is. There honestly, truly, to God, and it's been done. It has been done.
Underworld.
Oh my God. That's
She's
a movie that
badass.
people don't talk about.
She's
The
a
first
badass.
3 movies before it got like a little too
A little weird.
weird. She's a fucking badass.
Yeah, she's a badass. Resident Evil.
Even yeah, I was just gonna say, even if you didn't care for that franchise, she and the other females are badasses in those movies.
Yep.
The new Tomb Raider, I mean, even the old Tomb Raider, but the new Tomb Raider,
Hottest. Can I tell you?
bro.
These people out here don't like the new Tomb Raider. And
Oh,
I don't even mean the movie. I mean the new Tomb Raider in the games.
Oh, really?
They don't like her. They don't like her. They don't like her. The true fans, if you will.
Oh, the
true Lara Croft
the
fans.
true fan. I don't know about you. I'm pretty sure most of these true fans weren't alive when those original games came out.
Yeah.
So but they're the true fans. I'm not. I don't know. But
anyway,
there has been ways to tell a strong female role.
I love that new Tomb Raider movie. I want more.
This wasn't it.
Bro, what's funny is after watching this movie,
and by the way, if you hold on,
female-led Fast and the Furious kind of series.
100%. So I gotta lead up with that, right? So now you're gonna come back and be like, Harris, though, you're a fucking hypocrite. You like Dominic Toretto. Take it easy now. I do like that franchise, but there's never been one time I didn't say Dominic Toretto is a ridiculous character.
Oh, that's right.
Not a damn time. Dominic Toretto.
Yeah,
is
at no point during 9 fucking movies were you like, this guy's a real model of
yeah,
good character writing. No,
this right here, no. This is a strong male character.
Dominic Toretto, if I was to compare it to another franchise, Dominic Toretto is the Wolverine of Fast and Furious.
Yes.
He's the one that's getting into all the trouble, starting all the shit.
He's
chopping heads off for no reason.
Never dies.
Never. And everyone else is just basically playing clean.
For real though. Like that actually is a proper, because let's think about it real quick.
He's the star.
Let's think about that. He is Wolverine, because think about it. He was dead when that parking structure collapsed. He just regenerated back to life.
I keep telling you, Hottest, it was the power of family.
It was the power of but he really
she remembered that they got married and they were truly family, and her memory of being family brought him back. It returned his spirit into his body.
Family. Listen. There is a way to tell strong.
When is 9 coming out on
female? There's a way to tell strong female characters. This, not it. Now listen, we've already named a few. Let me give you one more. The Ghost in the Shell movie, fantastic female-led strong role. Fantastic. She is a badass. Now, granted, she is an android, but she is a bad.
But cultural appropriation.
Oh, cultural appropriation. My bad. I'm trying to think of all the fucking, and it's funny because but that's the problem, right? So you give people examples of very popular, like very well done, strong female roles, but they're like, no, that was shit. No, it wasn't. You're shit. Because that was not shit. Because during the whole time of Tomb Raider, I'm like, this woman is a badass.
It's $15 on iTunes. Maybe I'll just buy it. I own the rest of them.
It's just. I don't have.
Dude, can we talk just real quick? If we want to talk about female, like really good female-led action flicks,
I do not know what that
Atomic Blonde.
Atomic Blonde. Oh my God, Old Guard.
Still haven't watched it. Gotta fucking watch that.
You
But
gotta
like
watch it.
Atomic Blonde was a fantastic movie.
You know what's a really good movie that I think people say it's not, which is really weird to me, but I feel fully believe it is really good and interesting. Lucy
I
with
gotta
Scarlett
watch it. I
Johansson.
want to watch it. It's on my list. I've been meaning to watch it. I don't know. It's
You want another one? You want to know?
Kate was good.
Salt with Angelina
Salt was
Jolie.
fantastic. Salt was fantastic. I thought they
Kate,
were gonna make another one.
Kate, very good.
Kate was very good. I like that it
Very,
finished.
very good movie.
The rare time that especially an action movie is made to just be done.
Oh, I know, right? That's the fucking.
And I will say, Gunpowder Milkshake is kind of what this movie wanted to be and did not succeed in being.
I started
Gunpowder Milkshake is Kingsman, is like female Kingsman.
Yeah.
So it's like it's a little more ridiculous, I will say, but like it is effectively the same kind of thing. It is like super secret organization, all women, they're all fucking badasses. Except they just all use guns. They don't have the fucking fancy
Shit.
But like they're all badasses.
I started watching it, but I didn't. I got very. I started watching it at the wrong time. I shouldn't have watched it when I started watching it. But that is a movie I definitely want to watch because overall it looks like a fun movie that I want to watch. There's another one though that came out that I recently watched, and I actually thought it was really done well. I think it's called Anna.
Hannah?
Anna, 2019 film, ANNA. Sasha Luss is her name, does a great job. It has Helen Mirren in it, Luke Evans. Bro, fun movie. Fun movie. The fact that Rotten Tomatoes,
I think I did see trailers for that.
The fact that Rotten Tomatoes and Metacritic are giving such a low score is fucking idiotic because it is extremely fun movie. Extremely fun. Very well done. She is a badass. Like literally.
Well, you can buy it for like $6 though.
Yeah, dude.
On Google Play, you can buy it for $4.
It's free with cable TV on TNT.
Oh, dope. I can do that.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's plenty of ways to watch. Listen, man, there is plenty of fucking female.
Oh shit! Movies. I never watched Valerian.
Valerian, I actually enjoyed. I don't know. They got a bunch of crap for that. That was a good movie.
I never watched that.
Visually,
I still got to watch Men in Black International.
Visually, fucking fantastic. First of all, visually was fucking great. But I thought even the acting, like everything, was very well done in my opinion. But like, so those are. I just gave you so, and obviously not even including the Wonder Woman movie. Mm-hmm. Granted, some people had issues with number 2, which is fine. But overall, Wonder Woman, very well done. Strong female role.
Yep, Wonder Woman.
So like,
I like Black Widow too. I thought Black Widow.
Oh yeah, 100%. Black Widow
really
is
solid.
One of my top fucking Marvel movies. Captain Marvel. I know people have their
I don't know what the fuck. Marvel, but I really, honestly don't. I think.
Here's the thing:
people are doing too much thinking about superhero movies.
Here's the thing: the people that don't like Captain Marvel are the sexist people. That's where I'm.
No, that's the thing. A lot of women don't like it. A lot of women don't like it.
They're sexist too.
I think they bought into it. I think they bought into the sexist bullshit because I think the people that don't like it tried to come at it from these like legitimate concerns of like, oh, it was rushed and it's not well told and she doesn't have a character arc and all this shit. Like they say all this shit, and I was like, it's funny because when I watched it, I did not feel any of those things. I did not feel like I didn't care about her at the end.
No,
it felt like someone who had no idea who they were discovering who they were
while I was discovering who they were.
Yeah. I think a lot of people there is a lot of people that come at and
I forgot another one.
And I've talked about this before. Enjoy your shit. How you enjoy your shit.
Granted, the way the story was told wasn't like at the end wasn't 100% the best in my opinion, but the new Star Wars.
Oh yeah.
Like I don't know how the fuck I forgot
the last one is my absolute favorite of the 3.
except
Um,
for that kiss. And we
except for
always
that
agree.
kiss, except for that kiss, and that's that kiss is basically that titty popping out at the end of fucking
It
Shadow in the
really
Closet.
is. It really is.
It's,
Just not as bad,
it's
but
not
it
as bad
was
because it
right
wasn't trying to
there.
prove a
Yeah,
point. It
yeah.
was
It
just
wasn't.
it was just trying
Yeah,
to shove this romance down our
yeah,
throats that
yeah.
wasn't
For
there.
no reason. Yeah, it
It
didn't. It
wasn't there.
wasn't there. It didn't need to happen.
Yeah. I think, and it's what is really truly frustrating about that moment is that they filmed both endings.
I know.
That's the really truly frustrating.
Like in
If
my
they
head,
said this is how we wrote it and this is what we filmed, I'd have been like, all right, I
yeah,
disagree
yeah,
with your ending, but fine, whatever. When you
yeah,
tell me you thought both could work and you chose the wrong one,
yeah,
that's annoying.
yeah,
That's annoying.
yeah.
I
100%.
know. Fun fact. Oh, this one last thing. Well, two last things. One is just incidental. Apparently, they filmed multiple endings for Multiverse of Madness. Thought that was funny. I think that's interesting because then it's like even the actors don't know how it ends until you know what I'm saying,
That
which is
is
cool.
good. That
I'm
is
cool
good.
with that. The flip side of that is was it James Cameron? One of those big names, right? One of those big names directors was talking about how he wants to make interactive movie experiences
Ooh,
by way of one of
I'm
these big
sorry.
name directors, like
Okay.
James Cameron or one of these big names. I
Oh,
forget who it
okay.
was. I forget the specific one, but he was saying that he wants to make interactive movie going experiences, and by that, he meant that you would start the movie in one theater, and you would have to physically go to another theater to see a different portion of the movie. And I was
No,
like, "You're a
no,
psychopath.
you're in fucking insane.
You're a
You're
psychopath.
insane. You're
Please
insane.
do that, and then make sure I never go see another one of your movies.
Hundred
Please do
percent.
that for every movie you do, just so I don't have
Hundred
to fucking
percent.
waste my time."
Hundred
Because
percent,
what? You're
man.
gonna make me fucking run around your goddamn theater?
No,
Fuck out of here.
absolutely
Like
not,
you
man.
want to do
That's
that on Netflix? Give me a choose my own adventure kind of thing?
and
I'm interested.
even then, I only cared for that very little bit when they did it with Black Mirror. I didn't care for it that much. By the way, another one that's really good. Your favorite girl, movie's called Peppermint, and her name is
Jennifer Garner.
yes, it is.
I forgot her name. I forgot her name.
Yeah, no, but the fact that you remembered it,
No, I've been wanting to watch that because I
that's
remember
actually a
that.
good movie.
I remember that trailer very vividly because they had that fucking the little repetitive thing, like little girls are made of sugar and spice and everything nice. And but I think she said it different, and I think peppermint was like one of the ingredients or whatever.
Right. It's a good movie. It's a good
Yeah.
movie. Good
Well,
watch.
it was punish her, you know.
Basically, yeah.
Punish her. It was
But I mean, regardless,
she
I
punish
mean,
her. But like that's the thing is they should take these kind of like I want to say iconic male driven stories and make a female driven version. Like I
yeah,
would
because
love an
once again,
entire series of Atomic Blonde movies.
once
Because
again,
that to me would be the Bond series.
once again, here's the thing.
Like I'm interested in that.
We've talked about this before, right? Punisher, Frank Castle. Punisher is a superhero name. Frank Castle is a human.
Yep.
You take Punisher, you make it a female. It's not Frank Castle or Frankie Castle or
Right.
whatever.
But I'm saying like you
make
take the basic
her.
premise of
Yeah,
like woman character loses her
exactly.
family to whatever type of violence,
100%, man.
either goes to train like in
Because
this
that's
one
because
or
that literally
is
what it
already
was.
trained.
Because that's literally what it was.
Yeah. No, I saw the trailer. I was like, oh shit, it's Punisher with a girl.
It's
And I was
great,
like, I'm
man.
interested in this.
It's absolutely
And
it's
that's
a great
and
watch.
here's the funny thing about it, and we've talked about this before. The irony is that movie came out, left the theaters, went to digital, and disappeared out of the collective fucking consciousness.
It did.
And not a single woman that I know ever brought it up.
Nope. Not a single fucking person you know brought it out. And here's the thing: that movie had a $25 million budget.
Which means that it had the potential to be extremely profitable.
Extremely profitable. Even if it made 150 million, it would have been extremely. It only made 53.9 million.
So it barely broke even.
It barely broke even. So that tells me right there, like you motherfuckers out there complain about you want
Because they
female
had
led.
ads, so I know they
Yeah,
spent money on
yeah. Oh,
ads.
I know. I'm saying, dude, you're out there, you're telling me you want badass led female roles. Here's one. I thoroughly enjoyed it as a man, right? As
Right.
a male.
I
I
mean, the flip
enjoyed
side,
this like
how many women do you know, or how many women anywhere have fucking talked about continuity?
dude,
Which was
there's
three
bro.
fantastic seasons,
Oh
was
my
some of the
god,
best
it's
sci-fi fucking writing
dude,
in
it's
history.
one of my favorite shows for a few reasons. One, the female actress, not only did she act great, but she never overacted, and that is
Yeah,
a key factor when it comes to action-based TV shows. A lot of females tend to overact because they feel like they need to really show that badassness, and she is a phenomenal example of how you're still known that you're a badass without having to overdo it. It's so that's one reason, but also because they actually give you a good ending, like an ending that actually makes sense, but maybe not the ending that you or the character would have wanted.
right.
Like it's dude, a fucking and nobody, I outside of you and I don't think anybody's watched that show. At least not anybody
Like,
that I know of.
yeah, man. What's funny is there was another show. Now this was, I would say this was like this would have been like a network TV sci-fi show. Um, but I watched the pilot. It was like a 2 hour pilot. And it was meant to be a TV series about time travel. And I love that shit. Because that's one of those like, it's kind of like sliders. You know, there was some shit like shit would change if somebody went back in time. Like Time Cop was another show that I liked. So this was like already I was down for the premise. The technology was interesting, like how they were doing it. Uh, and it was, if not the main character, then like one of the couple main characters was a woman. Um, and it didn't get past pilot. And it's one of those things where I'm like, this is the kind of shit. Now, granted, it had opportunity to be like a little better written and things like that,
Of course, yeah.
but
I
like
mean,
what fucking
obviously.
doesn't, especially out of a
Yeah.
pilot. Um, but it's just it's the kind of thing like things come out, shows come out, movies come out that are woman led and they're not supported by women.
Yeah.
It's like the
And
overwhelming voice is we want more
yeah,
action or sci-fi or superhero films led by women.
yeah.
And then those things happen and then people don't go see it.
Yeah, 100%, man. And
Alita
that's
is a fantastic example.
dude, Alita is a fucking
Like of it,
if you're
for me to only have for a movie that is so heavily reliant on CG, and for me to literally only have one scene where I'm like, that's not great CG, out of a movie that is 90% CG. Pretty fucking good.
dude, listen, man, it's
On the flip side, a Will Smith movie, and Will Smith being one of my favorite actors, which
one of the
also 90% relies on CG,
was horrible.
terribly fucking executed.
Horrible,
And
terrible.
then the plot was meh at
Yeah,
best, like at
yeah,
best.
yeah.
So like
Which is a
overall,
damn
it was this
shame
whole
because
thing, and especially since they like hung their whole thing, it was like, oh, this technology is ridiculous.
yeah,
We've been waiting for this technology, and then it wasn't great. Like I felt bad for purchasing that movie.
you know what was better? You know what was better than that movie that
Many
he
things.
also did? Like visually, with VFX.
After Earth.
iRobot,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
way better.
Oh yeah.
And
Oh
but this was,
yeah.
but this was, but
iRobot is
this was,
fantastic.
but this was technology never seen before. But yet, iRobot came out in 2004. Clearly, I've seen it. I've actually seen better. Actually, seen better.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know what, like, because they sold the shit out of that tech.
Dude, they sold the shit out of it.
And I was like, like I believed young Sam Jackson in Captain Marvel more than I believed young Will Smith in
Yeah,
this movie. And this is all this movie is about.
yeah, yeah. It hurt. It hurt.
I was like, how are you going to say this is our primary driving force of the film and it is not perfectly executed?
Actually, you know what would have been even better? If he just shaved for those scenes, he would have been looking
If
better.
if he shaved and they gave him, dude,
the
a fucking what is that thing that the deep fake? The
Yeah,
deep fake would have been easier.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's very, very silly.
Not
It
even
was
deepfake, dude. If they just literally they record the movie at two different times. At one time, shaved Will with his buzz cut. They recorded it, and then over here, goatee lets out the grays. I would have believed it would have been way better.
I mean shit, look at him now. Look at him
I
now.
know, that's what I'm
Will
saying.
Smith right now, except for that weird goatee. Not really sure what that's about.
Yeah, I'm
Whatever.
not digging that goatee for Will.
Look, I'll be honest with you, it looks like a villain goatee, so which makes me
It
feel weird
does.
for a movie.
I know, right?
But like he looks more like 2004 Will Smith now than he fucking did in 2004.
I know. I know.
He looks like if he was to grow out a little more hair, get a fade,
That's what I'm saying.
and cut that fucking dumb goatee off, he could do the cover of 7 pounds, and it'd be the same cover.
Same dude.
And like, that's wild. Did you watch his YouTube series?
I have not.
It's good. It's interesting. He goes through some shit mentally. Like he's
No, I know that. I know
That's
that
interesting.
I know that he goes through some stuff. I know at
It's
some
short
point
too. It's like 5 episodes.
I know
or
at
6.
some point he calls and says he wants to end the series, and then he's gone like he went through like he talks about depression. He talks about um like writing that book and the feelings that it brought out and stuff like that. So like I know there's a lot that happens. It's not just him getting the best shape of his
Put your
life.
mic back. You're like super quiet again.
Oh, my bad. It's not just about him being like losing weight, but it's also like
Yeah,
a mental
it's a
thing too.
lot. It's a whole
Yeah.
lot. Plus, he's doing the book. He was doing the book at the time, so it was just like
Right, right.
he was just bearing his fucking soul.
Yeah,
So it
yeah,
was emotional workout, and
yeah.
it was all sorts of workout. No, it was very interesting. It was interesting to watch. I'm glad that they did it daily, which was really interesting. They like released one a day, so it wasn't even like you had to wait
Yeah,
like
yeah,
weeks and weeks and weeks.
yeah.
Yeah, it was good. It was done well. Like it really was. I mean,
I believe it.
obviously he lost the weight. Like you've seen him. Like
Yeah. I mean, I'll
uh,
watch it for sure. I just I gotta lose it. I weighed myself 215, 215.8. I was like, fuck, it's time to fucking get back into like it's time to stop fucking around. It's time to get back into lose because I gotta drop down. I want to be back down in 190 and like weight's gotta go. So we'll
yeah, that cardio.
well, yeah, exactly. Yeah, 100%.
I am trying to do math and try to figure out how I'm going to buy a bike because the arthritis in the foot is not going to be conducive to walking. So walking is
Yeah,
going to be
yeah,
out of the picture.
yeah.
So I'm going to be doing some math, try to figure out how I'm going to get a bike that'll support me and such. It'll be a while, but I mean, plus it's cold, so I'm gonna move the little pedal bike, the desk bike thing into the house.
Yeah, man.
Use that
Something
during
like
the winter, and then
yeah.
see if I can get a properly sized and set up bike for the spring and start cracking.
Right now for me,
Honestly, I think I'm gonna have the best success with that because I'll be out, so it's like once I leave, like there's just and it's kind of what I did when I was walking, 10 years ago when I did that kind of good period of losing weight.
yeah,
Like once you're out, once you're past a certain point, you have to do at least that much walking to come back.
yeah,
So
100%.
like if I get on a bike and I ride for 20 minutes, I
Oh,
gotta at least ride 20 minutes back. So like
if I can get a bike ride in, dude, I'm out for a while. Like I do. It's not. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's nothing crazy, but
plus it'll be
I
fun
try
for
to do about.
vlogs.
I do about. I think total of 10 or 20 miles. I can't remember. Sometimes I'll cut it short. I'll go 5.5 miles one way and come back, and that'll be about 11. But I think my longer route gets me to close to 10 miles one way, and then I got to ride back. And but when you don't have enough time to do that shit, like for me, I've been, my regular days, I work 10-hour days and I don't have time. You can't, if you ride at the dark, you can get jumped by a fucking coyote and shit like that. So can't
Right.
do that. Um, and I don't wake up early enough to get in 5 to 10 miles one way. Um, so on my days off,
See,
obviously,
like where you are, I would. This is just my thought: is I would just crack north to not even necessarily Army Trail, but north to Lies on Coon.
well, we have a whole bike path. We
Sure,
have a like
but
there's
I'm
a whole
saying just
bike.
like to like it's right there. You don't have to go,
Well, this is
out of the
this is
way.
literally like this would be the same thing. Following the bike path would be very similar to that. The
Gotcha.
problem is just getting up early enough to do it before work or
I feel you.
not doing it. So, um, but I'm gonna try everything I possibly can to do it at least 3 times a week next year or during the spring/summer/fall of next year. And but right now I'm just doing the bare minimum. I make sure I don't miss a workout, even if it's as simple as like what I do at home, which is walking on the treadmill for about 30 to 35 minutes. Then right after that, jumping into some crunches, push-ups, and pullovers with some dumbbell pullovers. And then one of those days, I'll add in a shoulder workout with the after I do the dumbbell pullovers, I'll jump in and do a little bit of shoulder/arms workout. And then three of the days in the week, I'll go and do a gym workout where something I can't do at home. So if it's like a leg day, a chest and back day, and a shoulder and arm day with like really decent amount of weight and stuff like that I don't have at home. And that's like just doing the bare minimum going in and then just fixing my diet. And then should be no problem. Just gotta stay on that path. So
Yeah, man. And that's the thing. It's absolutely more about consistency than it is about intensity. Like
100%.
that's
100%.
it's getting onto a schedule that you can sustain. That's the
Yep.
biggest thing. Is if it's something that you can finally like find the time for and put the energy into, and it's not something that you feel like is taking away from something you want to do or that you need to do or like have to do like work. If it's something that is it just becomes part of your routine, that's when it's the best.
Yeah, 100%.
Because I feel like that's when I had the best success for myself. Like I was basically like I was getting up, going, like water, go, come back, shower, food.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
that was every day to
That's
the degree. And then like at the time I was unemployed. So I was like, I had the time. So that just like one day I decided like that is going to be my
yeah,
routine. So that
100%.
is
That's the best. That's the best, man. And that is, I mean, that's really all it is it's consistency. It's not necessarily about the intensity, it's about the consistency. Like if you can get in a 30-minute walk daily, that changes everything for you.
yeah.
That change like you will lose weight just doing that.
Yeah.
And obviously, I mean, as long as you're not packing on still like
Right.
five,
Well,
six,
as long
seven,
as you're
eight
not
thousand
chowing down three or
calories.
four
Yeah.
donuts on that walk.
Yeah, yeah. Like, you still have to be mentally aware of like how much and what you're eating. But
Of course.
um, yeah, as long as you have that consistency of just at least doing like a 30-minute walk, that changes everything. I mean, biking obviously is another great form. If you don't like walking or running, which I'm not a fan of walking and running, but I love the shit out of biking. So and I have a good bike to do it on. Yeah, man, it's all about making sure you just fucking get on and do it. So that's going to be the biggest thing.
For sure. For sure. So I think we're gonna wrap it up here. It has been a solid 3 hours.
Solid 3 hours.
I was thinking I might cut this into two, but we'll see. We'll see how big the audio file is. That's honestly our biggest thing right now because the anchor has a physical size limitation. So if it's over a certain amount of megabytes, it just won't allow you to upload.
I see.
And if it does do that, I might just cut this into 2 episodes and put that out next week. But otherwise, that's gonna be it for this one. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, drop those down in the comments if you're watching on YouTube. If you are listening, check out YouTube and search The Tangents Podcast or T3G
or
Tangents.
Instagram, Twitter, Facebook.
Yeah, all of those things. All of those things. I'm going to be doing the podcast
If
clips
you, yeah,
on
if you're
the
in,
the T3G Instagram going forward.
yeah.
So
Just if you got questions, if you got comments, not just questions, if you want to comment your voice and opinion about me calling people idiots for being stupid,
and if you want to join us and fight us on some of these topics sometimes,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, if you want to,
feel free.
find me. Listen, you're not gonna necessarily win, but you can do it.
It's you know what? It's just like they say. It's not about the destination. It's about the journey. It's not so much about winning or losing the debate about certain things. It's just the debate.
See, that's funny. I'm glad you brought that up. I just want to talk about that real quick. Because I had a conversation in my head about this one time. I'm like, I really hate it when people tell me, well, not people haven't really ever said it to me, but when I hear people say it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. I'm like, no, it's about both, asshole, because you're not going to be excited to end up in hell. But the journey to hell was great. But when I got to hell, it was fucking awful. No, it's about both. It's about where you're going. Well, the point.
I think you can't. First of all, you can't.
Literally, if you go somewhere, let's say, for instance, you set a destination. I want to go.
Call it California. Let's just say Los Angeles.
California is actually, you can have some decent shit there. I'm trying to think of like
Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Yeah, I want to go somewhere rural Oklahoma, right?
Yeah.
Why? Who the fuck knows? That's where I want to go.
Right.
Well, yeah, the journey there is going to be fun, but then wherever your destination is probably going to be awful.
Right? No.
Yeah. If you just pick a random fucking shitty place to go to,
because you're being too literal. You're being too literal in it. It's not about the goal. It is about the process. Like it for me, if the only thing that I was looking forward to was hitting, let's say, 10,000 subscribers on YouTube, nothing I do is fun until I hit 10,000 subscribers.
To me, it's about both.
But to me, I don't care about hitting 10,000. If I'm enjoying myself and it is progressing and I know what works and what doesn't, and I learn and I get better, that's the shit that's interesting to me.
See,
hitting 10,000 isn't going to mean anything if I'm not having fun. That's why people burn out.
That's great. That's awesome. I'm just letting you know. To me, it's about both.
Okay, so like, what's your current goal on YouTube?
I don't know. Just keep doing it while I'm enjoying it.
Look at that.
Yeah, but that's because I don't know how to put it. Like,
you're focused. It's just focusing on the journey. That's
because it's not about the journey. It's because I don't want to focus on a number and then have to do whatever I need to do to get to that number. It's about
that's why I thought it was ironic that you said Mr. Beast thinks like you, because he thinks the exact opposite way you think.
Yeah, for sure.
Content.
Yeah,
I thought it was funny as hell. Because you were like, he thinks just like me. I was like, I would not have thought that that's where you were going at all, because he doesn't at all.
No, yeah. Well, he does think in this. Okay, he thinks like this. He thinks I want to release the best content on YouTube ever. Like,
he wants the most eyeballs on it.
No. He wants to release the best content
because he wants the most eyeballs on it.
Once again, you're wrong, because he said it. He said it in this. Watch the podcast and you'll see.
No, I've seen him say it multiple times.
It doesn't matter. I'm telling you, watch this podcast.
Views are the number one driving factor of every decision he makes.
His number one driving factor is to make the best content. His secondary driving factor is to be the biggest YouTuber on the planet. But he has even said, as long as I make the best content I can ever make, that will happen.
Right, but that's not true for everyone.
Well, I mean, yeah, but depends on how you focus on it. he's very much focused on creating the
Right, because that's
best
his only
possible.
thing. That's his only thing. But what I'm saying is people at different levels aren't going to have that formula. He has that formula
But
because he has hit those numbers already. He has money to put into a production. He has the connections to put the money into a production. He can do
hold
a
on, but hold on,
$3.5 million
but
Squid
see,
Game episode.
but see, here's the thing. That's where you're wrong. See, now
What do
this
you
is
mean? That's
this,
where I'm wrong.
but this is
Exactly.
where you're wrong. This is where you're wrong because yes, you're viewing it in the sense of like right now he has all the money in the world, but that's not how it works, man. If you actually watch the interview, he says it, and his mom, who is his financier, showed these guys that were interviewing him on the podcast. She showed them the money they have and what they've
Oh,
lost.
I know. I
But
understand. We probably watched the
here's
same podcast. It
but
was
here's
Samir and Colin and Samir,
yeah,
right?
yeah, some
Yeah.
Colin Smith. But he said it every time he's made. Like for instance, the first time he got approached, like we'll give you $5,000 if you do our product placement in your videos.
Yeah,
Like,
and he gave it away
that's
to a
great.
homeless guy.
He's like, but give me 10 and it'll give you more eyeballs. Like, because 10 looks better. And he took that 10,
And he gave it to a homeless
what
guy.
he got paid, and he gave it all away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Because
understand. I'm not
but
talking.
right, but he started doing that from the first fucking penny he got. The first fucking penny, like
Right.
$100. Okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna
Because he wanted the most eyeballs on it, and to get the most eyeballs, you need to make the best and or most interesting video. He at
Right.
that time did not have production value, so he could not make the best video with that
Right,
10,000.
but
So he
what
could make the most interesting video he could with
right,
that.
right. But
So
what he could make the best video he could make at that
right.
time.
But what I'm
Right.
saying is it's that sounds, how to explain this? That
So if you
sounds
watch this, he
easy
literally. So if you
from
watch it,
from the
you know
listening.
in there he literally
I
says,
know exactly what
"My
you
number one thing is that I
he
make the
wants to
best
make.
possible."
Exactly. He
Yeah,
wants to make the best possible
which
because
then leads into being the best YouTuber, getting the views
right,
and all that.
right. But the thing about that is, for someone watching, especially someone who does not have money, someone who's just doing it maybe on the side or whatever, that sounds like that's easy, right? Oh, well, you've got money. You can, you've got these connections. You can make the best video you can make.
But also
what he was saying was, listen, what he was saying was true for him. And it's true effectively for everyone. But the caveat was not there because he is at a level that he does not need to talk about the caveat for himself, because he's only talking about himself, because he charges people to give them advice on YouTube channels. So he is not providing a ton of free YouTube advice. He's right. And if everyone was focused on making the best video they can make at the time,
right,
and that's different than the best video you can make.
Well, yeah,
period.
the best video, right?
Like it's different. But he doesn't. Okay. But he doesn't. What I'm saying is, he doesn't say that. So for somebody watching,
he does. He did say in the same interview. He did say, "What is the best video I can make at the time?"
Right, because
if I have this much money, what's the best video I can make at that time?
Right,
and then the next video, oh, I have 60 grand. Great. What can I make now with 60?
Right,
because that's going to be a better video.
Right, but that's the thing is, people, if you say 60 grand, if you say 10 grand, people have that money.
Yeah, but he's also talked about 100 grand. $100. He's also talked about $10. Like he's talked about how he never fucking bought a camera because they're worth over $1,000. The good cameras, he even admitted, like, I didn't realize you could get something else for way less. But like he's always taken, no matter what he's earned, and put it towards the next video to make it as better as possible.
Right.
That he could think of at the time. Obviously, as a creator or as anything, doesn't matter if you're a creator or not, whatever your field is, the more you do something, the better you'll do it.
Right.
So he started with nothing. He started just like anybody else. He didn't have money. He didn't have money to blow. He started like a normal kid, wanted to just make videos. So what he's like, well, I can't make the shit that's in my head at this rate, but what can I do to still make an interesting video and that's the creativity of him. That's the
And
so
but
it's still the journey. It's not just I want to have
I feel you,
20 trillion
but you gotta
subscribers.
right. It's the thing, but the thing about that is, as a viewer, as someone who's watching this interview, who watches all these, people who have the success now, when you watch someone who has $3.5 million, I don't want to say like on call, but like can get $3.5 million for a single video. When you watch that, it is hard to relate to, I do not have any money and I'm making videos on my fucking iPhone.
Well, yeah, but that's because, and the reason for that is because people are stupid.
It's not about people are stupid. It's about
It
people.
is.
It's
It
not
is.
about
I did.
stupid, man. It's
It
not about
is.
stupid. It's about
It is about stupid. It's about how
having
you.
perspective. It's about
It's
having
not.
perspective.
It's not just about having perspective. It's also how you just in general process things. When you view somebody doing something, you don't automatically shouldn't. Even I did it back in the day when I was a dumb kid. When I was stupid, I processed things like, man, must be nice to have $50 million to throw at a production. Not thinking
Yeah.
like, was it nice when they did it for $100?
Right.
Because they had to come from somewhere. They didn't
Right.
just
So they don't
jump into a
have
50,
the necessary, you didn't have the necessary perspective to be
which is
able
a
to quantify all that data. So what I'm saying
which
is
is
people
fine. It's still
start this
stupidity.
shit and people work on this shit and they see the things that are talked about, and that's view counts, subscriber counts.
That's not true anymore, though, man.
But
There's
that's what
so many
people, that's still what
people.
people talk about it. That's what when you
But that's
talk,
what I'm. But that's what I'm trying to tell you is that's not true anymore
it
because there are
is.
so many. There is not true anymore
Why
because.
do people talk to
Oh
Mr.
my
Beast?
fucking god! That is not true anymore because people continuously talk about there's been multiple shit. Mr. Beast in that fucking whole fucking podcast mentions about starting from the beginning, not just spending the money he has now, but talking about where how much
Right.
money he's lost, where he
Because they're
started,
good interviewers and they ask
and
about that.
also as well, you have somebody on a daily fucking basis who has there's no way his content didn't reach your eyeballs at some point, who I don't care about as much as you do, but Gary Vee talks about it all the time. It's like you want shit to happen in 6 months. How about 10 years, homie? It's going to take you 10 years.
And but again, if people
Which
don't,
also another thing Mr. Beast talked about in that interview. It took him like fucking
but hear me out.
6 years to
Hear
get
me
to anywhere near spending what is considered big money.
Hear me out. I have had multiple conversations with both my wife and Celeste about Gary Vee because they hear bits and pieces and they process through their perspective those bits and pieces. So they hear him talking about how much money he has, how big his company is, all this stuff. They don't hear all the other shit. And I do not give a fuck about them knowing it. And so when I get into it with them, all I can fucking get to is you don't fucking know. Like you haven't listened, you haven't watched, you don't know. And they try to have these arguments with me when they do not have the necessary perspective, because they're like, oh, well, he talks about like, oh, just like if you don't have, like, if you don't like the situation you're in, like work harder. Like it's not that fucking easy. Like, yes, that is what he says, but it's all within context.
Right.
Like it's
Well,
not,
right.
it's not just like,
Right.
It's not like when someone tells you, why don't you just go get a job? Like that's like, yeah, sure, I'll go get a job in fucking Jobtown off the Jobby Tree. Like it's not that kind of situation. It's very much a situation of, if you do not like your situation, you need to take stock of everything that you do, see where you can
right. No, I know.
pull in,
Yeah,
and like exactly, my point is, people hear this stuff. People hear Mr. Beast talked about. People talking about Mr. Beast are rarely talking about the fact that he started in his mother's fucking in his bedroom in his mother's house, and that he quit college to try to pursue it and all this other shit. Like the people who talk about Mr. Beast talk about, oh my god, his latest video, which cost $50 million, $5 million, whatever the fuck, they talk about these huge numbers, to some people imperceptible numbers, like inconceivable numbers, like to like, if I was to open YouTube Studio one day and it was like, your video got 100,000 views, I would need to stare at it for a while to make sure that I was awake.
Oh yeah, me and you are completely on a different basis. See,
because
that wouldn't
like
phase me at
if
all
if
because I'd be
something
like, okay,
hit
cool,
like
but I
that,
need
I would
to.
need to know why, where it came from, why did it pop off, why today. Like I have too many questions at that point. So like just seeing that number, I'm like, why, like when I see that my video on its own without me sharing it, without me promoting it, got 37 views, I was like, oh, that's cool. That's
Right.
cool that it had an organic reach of that much. And I was like, that's interesting. I like that.
Right.
This last video that I put out had like 26 views. And I was like, hey, that's like cool because like it wasn't 7, 8, 9. It got like 26 views in a day.
Yeah.
And I was like, good. That's how I feel like it should be. It should be getting those early 20, 30 views like within a day or two. And that's what is happening. And that's
Listen,
my
listen.
expectation.
Here's how I view it. I'll give young people an out for not understanding everything they hear, right? Because they're still dumb. They're still learning, and they're dumb to certain things.
Right.
But I'm sorry if you're since it took me quite a long time. I'll say if you're at your mid 30s and you do not know how to set back and try to process some shit, or honestly, or just be like, okay, I heard this, but is there more? Like for instance, earlier you said this company trying to do a crowd. I said I don't know the full situation, so I can't say for sure. That guy we commented on in the beginning, where I looked into more, and clearly it looks like he's just the idiot that doesn't know what he's doing,
Right.
and he's blaming his audience.
Right.
So like, if you are in your mid 30s and growing older and you haven't take the time to figure out how you process shit or how you accept information, or if you're just okay with like, oh, I just heard this and that's what I'm going with that. That's
Right.
it. It's that single-minded, boom, I'm accepting that as face value. That's your problem. That's nobody else's problem except your problem. You heard some guy say, I spent $20
Oh
million.
yeah. I mean, ultimately that of course it's your own problem.
It's
But
your
but but what you're saying is like you I mean, because this contradicts previous statements that you've made. Is you're expecting people of a certain age to be of a certain intelligence.
no, 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 not intelligence. I'm talking about just being able to like say, hey, you know what? I heard that, but is there more to that? Like if you can't do that, don't even voice your opinion.
Oh, I agree. I
Don't
agree.
even just sit back and shut the hell up and literally go in your hole, because you're not processing anything. You're not doing anything. You're just taking something at face value and you're single-mindedly going, that's what I heard, that's what it is.
Right.
No, that's
That's
in
the thing.
fact.
Most people, and that's the thing. Most people are passively consuming things, especially podcasts. So somebody's listening to that podcast while they're doing other shit. They might not hear started in the bedroom, started by saying, was it the fuck is the guy, the number one guy on YouTube? I always forget his goddamn name.
PewDiePie.
PewDiePie. He started by saying PewDiePie's name like 10,000
Yeah, yeah,
times or
yeah,
whatever the
yeah,
fuck
yeah.
it was. Like people don't hear that. People hear gave away a house,
Yeah.
gave away a car,
$1 million.
$3.5 million. Yeah, $3.5
Yeah.
million fucking Squid Game video. Like
Yeah.
people hear these things and those are like keywords and numbers and shit. So they hear that and they're like, oh shit. And they contextualize it from their own experience of, well, shit, like I don't have any money for a production and all I have is an iPhone. And, this guy built a studio and like 14 fucking games.
All I saw when I watched that interview, and I was like, fuck, that's his new studio. Like I didn't even watch their that
He bought,
video.
he bought two empty warehouses.
Yeah, he bought 100 acres and
Shit
is
is G.
building studios. Um, I didn't even watch the video, I guess, that they did before that podcast where they took
They
like
went through. Yeah, I watch
yeah,
all
they
their
went
shit.
through.
I like Colin and Samir.
So like that
Colin and
literally just
Samir feels like a way more organized version of us.
that literally got recommended to me, I think, because I just started watching a bunch of Mr. Beast stuff. And that's what's funny. I just started watching a bunch of Mr. Beast stuff. Literally like oh 3 days ago. Like
What's
I
ironic?
just
What's ironic? I've
but here's the
I've
thing, here's the
stopped
thing.
watching Mr. Beast stuff.
But here's the thing. I saw that. I saw when they were interviewing him on that podcast and they said this is his warehouse. I was like, that would be dope one day. That's all I did. I
Right.
didn't say how, man, must be nice to be able to buy 100.
Oh yeah, but
No,
that's
I
the thing
said,
is I think a lot of people are also seeing that and saying that, oh shit, like he's that big, like he's got the money for that. That's not even necessarily about must be nice, but I think a lot of people see it and it's intimidating. It's, you know, you see shit like that and you're like, fuck, like that's a lot. Like how, you know, like, but people again, it's time, right? They don't take into account that this took him 5 fucking years to build.
oh, long. I mean, if you want to get technical, like Phil put it in great perspective. Like people, I guess there's been a controversy about him and doing his most recent video about Squid Game, and they're like, if you want to get technical, it took Mr. Beast 10 plus years to make, because it took 10 years for Squid Game to come out. It took him another
No,
uh
seven. Oh yeah, it was 7 years.
yeah, and so it was like, I was like, yeah, that's a good way to put it. No, man, it's
Yeah, because
just
it's all
it's
cumulative. It's all cumulative knowledge and information and process.
yeah,
Like for
man. It
me, if I made a video, let's say I just fucking went berserk and bought a fucking Canon R5 tomorrow, and I
right,
decided that was my new camera, and I decided I was going to take everything that I had learned about previous stuff and all the shit that I've seen work and
right,
just go ham and just abuse the shit out of the algorithm on this specific camera and just make the most videos I can and talk about the most factors of this camera I can.
right,
And that is what blows it up, right?
right,
In the next 6 months of me just cracking down, making a shit ton of R5 videos, B-roll, cinematics, fucking driving footage, all sorts of shit with the R5. It didn't take me 6 months to do that. It
no,
wasn't it wasn't three or 4 grand. You know, I just happened to have 3 or 4 grand. No, it was tactical information that I gained over several years, a bunch of shit that didn't work, a bunch of shit that we tried and it didn't pop, and it was shit we tried that it did pop, shit that popped for no fucking reason, and just like trying to fucking do all that math.
right,
And it's 7 years worth of figuring shit out and working shit out and then saying, all right, this is the next bet I'm making. Like effectively for me, I have gotten, well, personally me, I've gotten a little bit, but like Nexus, let's say, has gotten the money that I paid for this, we made this year. And that's cool.
right,
We made off
right.
YouTube videos. So
Yeah,
that's why I'm taking particular care with the review I'm going to do with this. I found that they've got a whole fucking guide thing. There's like button combinations and shit. There's like rules and restrictions, and you can change those like restrictions. There's a lot of shit to this that a lot of people don't talk about.
yeah,
So I'm going to make a comprehensive review of this product.
right,
And then I'm also looking at buying about 7 fucking accessories and doing a whole video on the best mounts,
right.
the best charging options, transfer option, all of this shit, like the shit we talked about the fucking file names. Like that to me is a whole video on its own. Like that
Yeah,
is a very
100%.
specific, like, hey, if you take a bunch of videos today and you export them to your phone gallery tomorrow, they're going to have tomorrow's date on them.
Right.
Like that's a big factor. But if you plug in USB and you transfer them tomorrow or fucking next week, it doesn't matter. They're going to have that same day. Like that's a specific video. So that, to me, I'm like, I'm strategically planning out content for this product. That's not, oh, I'm just banking on this being the fucking thing that blows us up. That
Right.
is 7 years of seeing what works, seeing this LG Wing thing constantly work in every video I do for the LG Wing about specific features and specific things really kind of hit. So I was like, all right, this is the thing, because people have been doing, I've seen the kind of videos people have been doing.
Right.
And I didn't want to do a generic overview. I didn't want to do the like, oh, the bad things about it, all of the shit. People are doing those videos. I want to do a comprehensive review. I want to talk about all the features it has, all the shit that people need to know, all the shit people need to understand. Like, this is the shittiest fucking mount. This bottom fucking mount is garbage.
Yeah.
Because when you mount it on anything, it's at an angle. It's the dumbest fucking, it's stupid as shit. it's like, why did you even do that? If they had some sort of clip or whatever, like, you know, there's a lot of content to be made off of this, but I'm going to plan it in such a way. Like, I think I'm going to drop the first video, which will be the comprehensive review. Yeah, probably this Tuesday. I want to do that Tuesday to kind of give some time for the holiday shoppers. And then probably every week after that is probably for a month is going to be just videos about this thing.
Okay.
And that's because I have a lot to say about it, a lot of specific shit I want to say about it. And I literally want it to be like Dino today, literally Max messaged me and he was like, best mobile gimbal. And I responded with, I have a video for that.
Right.
And that's sure. Like I've told you before, I want that to be my answer to every question I can possibly come up with.
Right.
Like anything someone says about technology, I have a video for that. Like, I don't even want to have to spend the time and energy to answer the question 4 different times to 4 different people. I made a video. I can send the same link to all 4 people.
I mean, agreed. Yeah, 100%. And I get where you're coming from. It's all about, but once again, like, it's still both, right? My destination, like, what is my goal? To do YouTube full time and race cars.
Right.
So, but what does that mean?
But okay, that's the thing. But I will say, before you finish.
But that's
your goal is not a finite destination. Your goal is not a finite position. Like, you didn't say my goal is to hit 10,000 subscribers or 50,000 subscribers, right? There are people who are like, I want to have 100,000 subscribers. And then to me, I'm like, okay, cool. Let's say you reach that. Let's say you reach that in 5 years. What do you do?
Well, then they'll set a new goal. They'll be like, next goal is to get 500,000.
But it's like, what are you doing for that? What are you doing with that?
Oh, I mean, that's
what I'm saying. Like, to me, like anybody who sets that goal, it's like me saying, oh, I want to be 400 pounds. So let's say I hit that, but let's say I hit that in the worst fucking possible way.
Right.
I just I stop eating. That's not good.
Right.
It's not about a number.
Right.
It's about making sure I'm eating correctly, making sure I'm
100%.
I'm being
but that's what
consistent in my activity.
But it's still both.
But the number is irrelevant. If I'm at 425, but I'm comfortable and I'm strong and I'm eating right, the numbers are relevant. I don't want to sit at 425 and be like, I didn't hit that 400.
Well, then, I mean, yeah, it's
right.
Yes and no.
Let's say if I gain a bunch of muscle and it works for me and I'm comfortable and nothing's health wise, nothing's in danger. Like, you know, the doctor's like, well, shit, like the number is high, but like you look good, you feel good, you got good energy, all your numbers are right.
Right.
What's the doctor going to tell me? You need to lose weight? That'd be ignorant as fuck. It's like if the doctor looked at you and you were 185 and you were lean, but they were like, well, you know, this chart here that somebody wrote in 1965 says that you should be at 165. You're gonna fucking beat yourself up, try to fucking lose 20 more pounds from nowhere.
No, I mean, no, but I mean, it's all about, listen, in that scenario, sure, you can argue, but it's still both. At the end of the day, it's still both. It's the destination and the journey. The journey, in my opinion, is more valuable because you learn from it.
Mm-hmm.
But ultimately, having a destination is important. If you say it's not, you are wrong. Because without a destination, you don't have a journey. people who don't have a destination, like people that want to work 9 to 5, right? Like people who think, let me rephrase that, not people who know they want
Right.
to work 9 to 5 and they're fine with
People
that.
who don't have a
And
destination, people who don't have goals and set plans and shit like that,
and then they're
end up
miserable.
working at 9 to 5 jobs.
Yeah, but some of them are fine with 9 to 5. They're like, I just want to work 9 to 5. I don't give a shit. I just want to see my family during my days off, and that's it. And maybe do something that, watch a sport or something.
Yeah.
That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that if that's who you are. But there are people who are miserable. They don't know why they're miserable, and ultimately it's because they don't have a destination
Right.
to work towards. So they're both important.
They're both important, but but equivalently, if you have a destination, but you do not act on it, the
Well, yeah,
destination is
100%.
irrelevant.
Yeah.
You say, if
100%.
you say I want to be a millionaire, but
Yeah.
every day you spend fucking money on Starbucks and dig around money on online
Yeah,
gambling and shit
100%.
like that,
But once again,
you ain't ever gonna be a millionaire.
100%. But also at the same time, you might be having a great journey, but if you don't have a destination, you're literally wasting away what you've learned.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, there's lots of people. I mean, like that's I don't want to say this what all the 70s were, but that's like for white people, that's what 70s were. 70s were a bunch of white people doing free love and just going around and just fucking having a good time, but
Right.
getting fucking nowhere, doing nothing, like achieving nothing.
Yeah.
So yeah, you could have a blast, but if you have no direction, like that's how you end up with people who realize they're 40 and they're still in this fucking tiny town that they grew up in because they've been having a blast for 40 years.
Yeah.
But they had nothing
exactly.
to work towards. And now they're 40 and the mine shuts down or whatever whatever the fuck shuts down. The one factory that everyone worked at shuts down. Shit. What now?
Yeah, exactly. 100%. So
I mean,
that's why to me, like
effectively the premise of fucking Smallville, or not Smallville, Superman and Lois. That's effectively the premise of Superman and Lois.
Well,
like Smallville is like falling down because like the coal mine or something shut down.
Right. No, I feel you. But yeah, so for me, it's like, when people say like, oh, it's this, but I'm like, I don't see it that way.
There is, I don't know of a single thing in life where there isn't only
like it's infinitely the one thing.
Yeah.
Like it's not possible.
There is no only one thing. It's not only eat right.
Right.
Because at some point you need to work out.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. At
like
some point,
if I got myself to a perfect diet.
Yeah.
Like ate enough, but ate the right shit. And I would lose weight, but I would plateau.
Yeah.
And that plateau would not look good.
Yeah, 100%.
Because I would lose weight. I would not be gaining muscle in any direction. So I would have loose skin all over the place.
Yeah.
And then at some point, my body would just build an equilibrium and be like, well, now the only option I have is to eat even less.
Yeah.
If I'm not working out, if I'm not using the energy that I am consuming, like it's never one. It's never one. Like it's never on YouTube, we talk, quantity versus quality. It's never one or the other. It's never quality and only put out one video a year.
Correct. Absolutely.
It's not like, all right, I'm going to put together every dime I have. I'm going to bring together 3 of my friends' iPhones. We're going to make this dope cinematic. And then I'm not going to put out any more videos until 2025.
Right. It just
doesn't matter how cool it is. It might be the coolest video ever made, but no one gives a shit if you don't fucking make another one.
Is there that very rare chance that does happen? Yes. But
it has, but those people don't exist anymore.
Right. Yeah, that's not a thing.
Those people don't exist anymore. Those people stop making shit. Because there was a channel that I was watching and they would make really cool narrative shit. Like they were short films. They were like legit short films. But it was like it was like once a year.
Yeah.
And then they stopped making them eventually. It's like eventually like there's no growth. There's no, because like you make the one movie and people are like, oh my God, that's so cool. That's so cool. And like people watch it.
People like it.
But it's like they want you to make another one, but you want to make something else.
Yeah, but you didn't do anything.
Yeah. And then it's like you don't or you don't check your shit. I mean, like I felt bad. I stopped reading comments for a month and I had like 8 comments to read and to reply to. I felt bad because I'm like, motherfuckers are asking questions.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
I feel like an asshole. Or like if somebody's like, all right, I'm gonna make this movie, I'm gonna put it out and I'm gonna go make another one for the next year, and then I'll come back.
Yeah.
Well, the people that were asking questions stopped asking questions. They're not sharing that video anymore. So by the time you come back, maybe it got 5,000 views.
Well, that's
But if
the
you had
same
answered
thing.
question, it'd be 5 million.
Well, that's kind of my same complaint for even big production like box office shit. Like they make a movie, does great, and then like 6 years later, they're like, oh, we're making the sequel. Nobody gives a shit.
Oh yeah, like they're about to make 5 more avatars, right?
Yeah, but I mean, listen, but that's been getting hyped for a long time now. But I'm talking about like there are times where the movie did really good, and it's been like 10 years. But I mean, I'm talking about did really good, and then they come out and this one does like half, maybe less than that, and they're like, they're acting like it didn't do as good as they thought it was going to be. I'm like, what made you think it was going to do as good? You've only been gone 10 years,
Well,
motherfucker.
yeah, I
Like,
mean, look at Independence Day.
oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, they
Like
were like, Independence Day was a success. No problem, it'll do good again. What? No, that's not how shit works.
Resurgence was 20 years after the original.
Like it did good, but
It
it
made
didn't.
389 on a budget of 165,
Right,
which is fine. It's
but
profitable, but the original made 817 on a budget of 75.
right. So it's like
It's different, is what I'm
it's
saying.
yeah.
It's a little different.
I'm saying. So it's like at the end of the day, it's the same thing, man. It's just, but yeah, to me, it's both. It's the destination and the journey. The journey, I think, is a little bit more important just because you learn a lot through the journey. And
Right.
that's something that you have to understand. Learning, failing, and learning is the best process of any, really any journey. Because it doesn't matter if it's just like a life journey, if it's a professional journey or what, like that, like messing up, failing, learning from it, changing maybe your perspective, changing your habit, changing something, how you do something, like whatever it might be, like all that is way more important. But the journey, of course, is important, or having that destination. Without it, you won't realize that you're working towards something, or you won't realize that you're actually learning stuff. Like sometimes when you don't have a destination and you are actually learning things, you don't realize it because you're not focused on it.
Right.
So you might learn, but then you might throw away that knowledge because you don't realize, oh shit, I learned something and that could work for me for my destination.
Dude, dude, I am the perfect example of that. I was making videos for Matthew for years without any purpose, without any goal, without any direction. And I was learning things and I was making things and it was fun and I enjoyed it. And without direction, I just stopped.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. You literally just stop. Not
I thought
realizing that
about
it
this.
could go somewhere.
I thought about this and I'm like, man, in 2007, which would have been an entire T3G era before T3G was created.
Right.
In 2007, when I was creating shit,
Yeah.
what if
What if
if I
you
had just kept doing it?
and went to YouTube and
I did post shit to YouTube.
but that's what I'm saying. But
That's the fucking thing. If I had
well,
just
that's what I'm
kept
saying.
pushing and kept making
That's
shit,
what I'm saying. You pushed and you went and you kept going. 100%, man. Be a different story.
like
Same thing for me. I mean,
dude, that universe, who knows what that universe looks like?
bro,
Who
like
knows?
same thing here. Like,
It's very interesting.
I go to my automotive channel and I go, when I sort by oldest, I look at now, granted, there's a few videos there that are just from me at a concert in Florida, in Miami. But then my first ever video that I was like super stoked about was the drift event at Hot Import Nights. Like when I did that edit, I was super. That was 12 years ago. 12 years. Then it took 6 years after that to
Mhm.
make my first ever car video again and stay consistent.
Yep.
But if I started 12 years ago and kept going, it would be a whole different world right now.
Bro, those
It would be a
variants,
different
those
universe.
variants are doing all sorts of different shit.
All sorts of shit. All sorts of like one of them is a race car driver right now.
100%.
Like
100%.
fucking
But
fighting for that top spot.
but I'm gonna hit you with Gary V. One of those variants is also dead.
That's true. That's true. 100%. 100%. That's a
And that
fact.
and that's the kind of thing where I find it very difficult to put in any significant energy into any sort of regret, any sort of, oh man, if I had done that, because it's interesting. Like from a storytelling perspective, it's interesting to me. Like, how would that have turned out? But just from a storytelling perspective, because I'm not like,
I mean,
oh man, like my life is so bad, and like if I had just done this differently, it'd
here's
be
the
so much
thing.
better.
Here's the thing. I regret, like to say I don't have regret to me is foolish. You have regrets. What you don't do is you don't dwell on them. Everybody has regrets. When I look back at this, there's no way I'm not saying I don't regret continuing to make car videos like I wanted to at 12 years ago. I
But like,
regret it.
but like,
But
look
do
at,
I dwell on it? No, I don't dwell on it. I don't go back and fucking keep staring at like
but
what
this is
if I
my
did this
question to
from
you.
12 years ago?
Well, this is my question to you.
No, I just make videos.
If you had done that, and when Anthony called you to be his best man, you're like, dude, I'm on this race circuit, like I can't be there, and you don't meet Joy, and you don't. It's a different life.
It is a different life, yeah.
So you know what I'm saying? Like, you
But
know what I'm
I'm
saying?
not.
So like to me, like that's why I don't. That's for me. I mean,
But it's
and
but
it
it's
might just be
po-
a semantics
but
conversation, but
it's
like
also
that's why I say I don't
but it's
regret
also
shit.
but it's also possibly that outcome, right?
Sure, it's possibly any different outcome, and that's the thing
Right.
is it's any different outcome besides what you have. And to me, to say you regret something, and again, this might just be a semantic perspective for me, but me saying that I regret something would indicate that I am not happy in where I'm at, and like that I'm not content in my life.
That's
And to
not
me,
that's
I
not how
love
I
who
see
I
it.
am. I love my life. I love my family. So like,
See, that's not how I see it though. I don't when I say that like that I have regrets, that I regret not doing something continuously after I started doing it, doesn't mean that I'm not happy with the other things that I have in my life right now.
like I said,
Just means that
quite possible it's just a semantic
if I
thing
was
for
just
me.
smarter and realized, hey, I really enjoyed this and I just want to keep doing it, and this is where I want, like if at that time, so that was 12 years ago, so I was 24. So if at 24 I was like, I want to be in cars, I want to race, like that's all I'm saying. Like if I just realized back then at that age what I wanted to do, instead of worrying about um playing video games 24/7 and just going out and shit like that. Like if I actually realized that I had a goal, like if I took what I wanted to do as a career, not just as outside of a career, more seriously, then yeah, my life could have been better. But I don't dwell on it. I don't care. It happened. This is how it ended up. Not all I can do at this point is just do the thing I know I want to do. Now that I know what I want to do, I just got to keep doing it. And so I do. I keep making car videos. So I keep involving myself in the industry I want to be part of, and I'm do the fucking work. I mean, do I do the work as much as I should? No, but I'm sure I'll get there one day. So
There you go.
there you go.
There you go. I think that's a good way to end it.
Yeah.
I was gonna interrupt you when you were saying like learning and failing and shit is part of the journey. I was gonna say unless you're a fake pilot carrying a baby on an airplane,
Yeah, that's just
then
you're a
you don't
badass.
fail. Then you just don't fail.
You don't fail. Yeah, you don't die. You don't. You're ahead of science and physics.
I just wanted to wrap the video up because I think I will
Uh,
split this, and I think I'm going to start the second part with
uh,
that video. So that's going to be it for this one.
yeah.
I think I already
Leave
did
it.
the
Leave it.
outro like
Leave.
23
Yeah.
minutes
Leave.
ago.
Leave this as one YouTube video, but for the podcast, make it two, and in end of part end of part one, be like, this is end of part one, and then beginning of part two is like, this is part two from our last podcast.
Just literally say end part one.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
All right, brother.
All right, man.
Good talk as always.
Yeah.
Thank you all for listening. Thank you
Yeah.
for watching. If you're on
Yeah.
YouTube, we'll see y'all in the next one.
Yeah.